And David, you just mentioned people waking up to the storms overnight. Well, imagine waking up to the storm around midnight overnight and actually watching the tree in your backyard fall on top of your garage and crush it. Also crushing parts of your cars as well. Well, that's what one couple here on the 700 block of 2nd Avenue South in Clinton woke up to overnight, actually watching that tree fall down right here, crushing their garage. They say one of their cars is probably a total loss, not sure about the other one at this point. But this is a huge tree, and the wind or the rain, whatever it was, cracked it at the bottom, the base of the tree, and it just smashed on top of this garage right here. The wind was so strong it even actually ripped off a piece of the aluminum right here from the garage and dropped it on the ground a few feet away. This wind was really powerful, and the people who live here at this home said when they woke up, it sounded like a freight train was going by outside. Other people have described it as a roar. Now, this wind did a lot of other damage as well. I mean, around Clinton, we've seen several branches down in the area, but this 700 block of 2nd Avenue South is certainly the worst of the damage that we've seen, and in the most concentrated area. Several trees down, and if not trees, then very large pieces of trees. Many of those trees actually falling down on homes, but people in this area say that they're just thankful right now that no one was injured.
It took parts of this tree and it must have swung it, and hell, it knocked one of our trees down in the backyard. We had a big old pine. It knocked it down. Power lines are laying on the ground, destroyed the neighbor's garage.
People here in Clinton say they have never seen a storm like this and do this much damage, but again, very thankful that everyone seems to be okay so far. Now, we talked to a tree care specialist who says that some of these trees here, it might take a couple hours to get them cleaned up and taken off the homes. Reporting live in Clinton, Danielle McCarthy, KWQC, TV6 News. People here on the 700 block of 2nd Avenue South in Clinton are already seeing some progress when it comes to that cleanup effort. Take a look at this progress we're seeing already this morning. Now, about an hour or so ago, we showed you this house here had a large branch on it. Well, a tree care specialist just came and took that down. He said thanks to some new technology, he was able to get it down in really less than about 5 minutes or so here. He knows the woman who lives inside. I've also talked to her this morning. She says she is okay, and the tree care specialist says she should be able to live inside this home after they put a tarp on the roof. But people here are just seeing the positive in all this, saying that they're just glad that they haven't heard any reports of any injuries. No one hurt here. All their neighbors seem to be safe this morning despite all the damage that they are waking up to here on the 700 block of 2nd Avenue South in Clinton. Reporting live in Clinton, Danielle McCarthy, KWQC, TV6 News. Well, Morgan, as we drove around the town this morning, we saw branches about this size laying over a good portion of the city, but nothing really compares to the damage that anyone will see if they drive down the 700 block of 2nd Avenue South in Clinton. Look at this right here behind me. These huge tree branches actually crashed down onto this woman's home, actually onto her bedroom, where she, of course, was sleeping as the storm hit around midnight or so overnight. Her neighbors say that they're just thankful she's alive and that the damage here wasn't much worse than it is. Of course, it is bad, though, crashing in parts of the roof here, denting that part of the home. And the home next door, the garage actually behind it, is completely crushed from a tree that fell down. Several trees down in this area. We've seen a large pine or evergreen tree that fell down on this block over here. One in front of the old Jefferson School, a very large tree completely uprooted and fell over there. Greg says that could easily have been just because of how soaked the ground was and how strong the winds were. As for how strong those winds were, we talked to some people who describe it as sounding like a freight train or a big roar in the middle of the night. I talked to one man who, as we were talking to him about the storm and all the damage this morning, he actually got a little choked up as he was telling us about it.
But it's emotional. Like, we don't usually have this stuff happen here, not that I've ever experienced.
Now, right now, this morning, a lot of people are just waking up and seeing how much damage there really is. We've seen a lot of people coming around this area and taking pictures, understandably so. People in Clinton here say they haven't seen anything like this happen in decades, or really as long as they've lived here. Really the worst storm that they've ever seen. We've talked to just a tree care service who's going around the area right now, finding about how these trees were damaged and how they're going to be able to get them removed. So that's kind of what they're working on right now as people wake up here on the 700 block of 2nd Avenue South this morning. Reporting live in Clinton, Danielle McCarthy, KWQC TV6 News. David and Morgan, take a look at this tree that's on the ground right here on the 700 block of 2nd Avenue South in Clinton. This tree was actually laying in the middle of the road, blocking it overnight when the storm hit around midnight or so. I mean, you're seeing how huge this tree here. This just goes to show you how strong those winds were that hit overnight and how soaked the ground got. I talked to a tree care specialist just now who said that was definitely what would have caused this linden to fall over like this. Now, people say that these winds were so strong. One man is guessing they had to at least have been 100 miles an hour from what he could tell. People are saying this is really one of the worst storms they have ever seen, and they're anxious to find out what exactly this storm is going to be classified as here in Clinton. We're live in Clinton this morning. Danielle McCarthy, KWQC TV6 News.